Today in class, we started our social issues research paper. You can find this document on Google Classroom at the top of the stream. This outline will be your first summative of the semester, and it's using the research that you did last week on your social issues research project. The assignment says you will write an argumentative research paper using two opposing perspectives about one issue. You already have your issue. You decided on that on Friday when you completed your final topic proposal. So that's the issue that you are using for this outline. You will utilize two sources pulled from your social issues project. Those two sources were the articles that you pulled from Google Classroom. One article was pro the topic and the other article was against the topic. You will use one quote supporting your claim and one quote supporting your counterclaim, and then must be cited in MLA format. The outline consists of 4 paragraphs. You will have your introduction, 2 body paragraphs, and a conclusion. Today in class, we worked on our introductory paragraph. The intro has 3 parts. A, the attention getter. B, your background information. And C, your thesis statement. Your attention getter is how you're going to open your paper. And you use this strategy to gain the reader's attention, so once they read sentence 1, they want to keep reading on. And you can complete this in a variety of different ways. You can use a quotation, a definition, an anecdote, ask a question, or even give a startling statement. If you're struggling with coming up with an attention getter, we recommend that you open up Google, type in your topic, followed by the word quote, and look at a quote to use. You'll notice that under each section of your paper, there's an example. The example is using the prompt, should students wear uniforms to school? So under the directions for each part, you can reference the example when you are typing your own response. So for the attention getter, I used a quote from Google. And the quote is, to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. And that's by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Notice I cited it with quotation marks starting and ending, and in parentheses, I put the author's name. If there is no name provided, in parentheses, you would write the word anonymous. So you will type your response next to the blue arrow under each example. Letter B is your background information, and this is where you're providing the reader with background about your topic, and this should be a minimum of 2 to 3 sentences. So you're not just providing background on your side of the argument, you're providing background on both sides. Here's my example, again using the example prompt of should students wear uniforms to school. The debate around the necessity for students to wear uniforms at school is ongoing. Proponents argue that uniforms will enhance the students' feeling of belonging to a particular school, and it will reduce the differences between the students. Opponents, on the other hand, argue that uniforms will limit the child's individuality. So again, reference that not only in length, but also context. Last week in your social issues project, you already had to come up with background information. So if you go to either slide 2 or slide 5, depending on which topic you chose, your very first bullet point asked you to briefly describe the topic. You can copy what you already wrote, so highlight it and copy it. Go back to your research paper, and under letter B of your intro, next to that blue arrow, paste what you wrote. Now, if you weren't detailed enough in your presentation last week, you're going to want to add the detail here because, again, the limit is 2 to 3 sentences, and you want to cover both sides of the topic. Now moving on to letter C, your thesis. This is where you are declaring your side of the argument and you're giving the general reason why you believe that your side is the right side to support. So we give you a template followed by a formula to follow in order to complete your thesis. So number 1 in red is your identification. You're just identifying what your topic is. Is it about social media, cell phones, video games, what? Then number 2, your claim, which is in blue, is what side of the argument are you on? Are you for it or are you against it? And then number 3, the direction, which is in green, is your general reason why. So it's identifying your topic, plus providing your claim, plus giving the direction. So as you can see using the example, here is a thesis to look at. School uniforms should not be enforced because it infringes on students' right to expression and freedom of individualism. So you see school uniforms is the topic, should not be enforced is my claim, and in the green is my general reason. Also take note that the thesis should only be one sentence in length. Capitalize the start of the sentence, punctuate the end, and make sure it's in the third person point of view. So no pronouns like I, me, you, we, or us. And notice also the thesis is precise. You don't want a wordy or repetitious thesis statement. So you will write yours here, next to the blue arrow under the example. So this is how you complete your introduction paragraph. If you have any questions, make sure to ask us and we can help you. And again, make sure you are using your social issues project so that you are not recreating the wheel with the work that you already did in researching this topic.